Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna show you how should you analyze your games, right? But at the beginning, let me tell you a couple important things. So first of all, why is it important to analyze your own games? The main reason is because you can learn on your own mistakes, right? And you can avoid them in the future. The question how to do that is that right when you play the game, a very good habit is to analyze, of course, every game that you played, especially games that you have lost. But first thing you should do, you should go through the game without any engine's help, because you have to understand, you have to try to understand what mistakes did you do on your own. It's very important. And later, once you do that, you should use the engine and check were you right or not. If you weren't right, why not? What was wrong? What should you improve? And you have to memorize. You have to get to some conclusions after that thing. And this is like the way of analyzing your games that you can benefit the most. And using engine's help at the beginning, it's the biggest mistake. So yeah, just try to do that properly if you want to improve. And of course, if you want to get more hints, you can sign up for my course. You can 10-week course. You can find the link in the video below. And today I'm gonna show you how I'm doing that. How do I analyze my games? I just played the rapid game. I just finished a couple minutes ago, and you can see that I opened an analysis board on chess.com. Of course, it can be any other tool, and you can see that I also paste some PGN. You can see on the right side that there is a PGN, and you see that in this PGN, of course, make sure that evaluation is switched off. You don't need evaluation's help. Lines, if we click here, you can see that there are some lines. Of course, we are not going to use it right now, but we are going to use it later to check my analysis. And if we click here, you can see that here is available Explorer. So we can use that tool actually when we're doing that, because it really helps to improve openings. So this is definitely something that we can use. And you should use it. Yes. Okay. So, and just one thing before I start. My goal today is not to make a very deep analysis of this game. I just want to show you the method. I just want to show you how should you do that. Of course, you can spend 15 hours on analyzing one game. I know people who are doing that. I think it's a little bit too much. In my opinion, it should take you like 1 or 2 hours, right? But today, right now, I'm going to show you the method. So yeah, I just want to show you the method, that this is my goal. Okay, so I start the game, d4 knight f6. Okay, I don't need to, I have seen that, thousands of times, so I don't need to check Explorer yet. You can see that opponent plays, probably it's going to be King Sintian or Grimfeld or Benoni, bishop g2. You can see I usually play with a fianchetto. I saw it 1,000 times, so I don't need to analyze it. And now my opponent plays c5. And now you just need to know that now I have got a choice. Sometimes I play d5. Sometimes I make a castle. In this game, I decided to make a castle because I wanted to avoid Benko's gambit. Personally, I don't like if after d5, someone plays b5. I don't mind playing Benko's gambit, but I don't think that plan with bishop g2 with a fianchetto is the best for white. This is the reason in this position I prefer to castle. Okay, c takes d4, knight takes d4, black develops the knight c6, I play knight c3. Okay, so here we've got the first position, and now my opponent played queen b6. As I know, more popular move is knight takes d4 at the moment. Another common move is d6 right now. Okay, I'm just checking that those are like, from my experience, two most common moves. I can see, okay, there is a move queen b6. over 400 games, but white has got pretty good statistics. You can see 400 games, but over 50% games white won. Yeah, so probably it's not the best move. Knight takes d4. There are a lot of lines. Okay, I can see that there is also knight g4 and queen a5. I'm not afraid of queen a5, but let me check how to play against knight g4. I know that my opponent didn't play this, but you know, when you're analyzing your games, this is the great opportunity to check some other lines or lines that you're not sure what to do. So after knight g4, probably e3 is the best move. Okay, so pawn wants to protect the knight, and also you can see that knight at the g4 is under attack. Black usually goes d6 and now plays b3. Okay, so I can see that this is just the standard way of playing. Takes, takes. Okay, knight goes to h6. Okay, probably the idea is to go to f5 for black, but of course you can see that, yeah, I think white, there is no need to be afraid of this, and white plays knight e2. Yeah, okay, and I have to say I like this position. White has got a very strong center. Later, most probably I'm gonna, you know, probably move my queen, maybe bring my rook, and white's position is good. So I don't need to be afraid if someone plays this move against me. But you know, it's good. You can see on the notation that I keep that line here, and yeah, it's good to use some lines, right? Okay, next thing. Okay, so my opponent went queen b6. Okay, in this position I played knight c2, and you can see that knight c2 is the most common move. Probably also the best. Okay, black plays d6, and now I decided to play b3 because I want to develop my bishop to b2. And opponent went bishop e6. Okay, and now take a look. Now I was aware that if I follow my plan, you can see that it happened a couple times this position, but it has got very bad statistics. Bishop b2, it has got only 30% for white, 60% for black. And so there is something wrong with such a move. And of course, it's because bishop takes c4. And you can see that bishop at b2 is just hanging. So this is, white has to be careful. Okay, and I remember, because you know I just played this game couple minutes ago. I played bishop e3, as you see, but I remember that I didn't consider playing rook b1. And now, yes, okay, so I'll say rook b1 is the main move, and if black plays rook c8, bishop goes to b2. Okay, but you can see that actually black has got excellent statistics here. Okay, but let's say black plays a6, white goes, what does white play? Yeah, to be honest, I mean, white's position I think is fine. If I were white, I would like to play probably queen d2, rook d1 or rook c1, and in my opinion, white's position is good. Statistics are not that well, but okay, let me double check, is there anything else? What are other options? Bishop d2 has got a nice statistics, as well as e4. And queen d2, okay, because I want to play queen d2 anyway, and now because queen protects that knight, so I don't need to be afraid of any attacks on that diagonal. Okay, let's check queen d2, right? Maybe queen d2. Okay, and what does opponent play? Let's say opponent goes here. After this move, of course, I can play bishop b2, and I'm doing very well. I'm not afraid of this, because you see that threat, you know, bishop takes c4 is not a threat anymore, because queen is no longer at b6. But let's say that black plays rook a c8, and now bishop b2. Does it work? Okay, I see the point. Now I see the point, and now that bishop at b2 is not protected, but probably that move doesn't work, because pawn takes, queen takes, and I think that queen can be trapped by playing, for example, here, right? By playing rook b1. So yeah, rook a b1 should be fine, and black is losing here. Okay, so you see, next time I learned something at the moment, because during the game I played bishop e3, but I learned something that after bishop e6, now I played bishop e3, that maybe not bishop e3, maybe not rook b1, which is the main move, but queen d2. and later white can easily play bishop b2 because because that queen at b2 can be trapped. So let me just put some comments on this. So bishop b2 is wrong, so I will put a question mark on this. You know, question mark means that this is a bad move. Try to use also those kind of chess annotations, right? Rook b1, I don't like position after rook b1 that much, so I will put that this is like inaccurate move, at least in my opinion. And queen d2, I will mark it as an interesting move right now. So next time when I will get this position, I will go with queen d2 at the moment. Okay, let's go back to the game. I played bishop e3. Okay, is there... Oh yeah, someone played bishop e3, but actually 2 games were lost. Yeah, so probably this is not the best move. Yeah, opponent went queen a5. And actually right now, okay, I played knight d5 at the moment. And there is 1 game, unfortunately lost, but most probably I should have played bishop d2 at the moment. Okay, bishop is protecting that knight that is not protected. And at the same time, you can see that there is also an X-ray. Bishop is pointing towards the queen. Okay, but I decided, okay, so bishop d2, I wrote it down. You can see bishop d2, yeah, as an alternative. And I played knight d5. And what was the point of playing knight d5? Actually, I was aware that this is a very risky move, but I wanted to play in an active way. Why is that risky? It's because that rook is hanging. You can see it's a problem. And now my opponent captured here with the bishop, but take a look. I was a little bit, afraid. I wasn't sure what happens after this move. If knight takes there, I wanted to take it here with the pawn, which is a fork. Okay, of course I'm losing my rook at a1. I calculated this line during the game, and now I wanted to capture at c6, as I remember. And you can see that that bishop is hanging. So bishop has to retreat. So bishop goes back, let's say, to this place. I can take at b7. White has got an extremely strong pawn at b7 that is supported also by the bishop. Okay, and rook goes to b8. And what is my opinion about this position? Honestly, I expected more. Right, when I saw this line, I thought that that pawn might be pretty dangerous, but now I have to say that I don't like that position that much because black can play the d5 move. Okay, so I will mark it as a position is better for black, so it's minus plus in my opinion. Let me go back. Is there any other option? Of course, now I'm just analyzing. I'm just checking different lines, but of course later I'm gonna check it with the engine. So after bishop takes a1, okay, maybe an alternative. I have got 2 other alternatives to the line that I just calculated. I can capture at e6 and I can capture at a1. Okay, if I capture at e6, yeah, bishop probably just retreats and nothing really happens. I think here bishop retreats. Okay, I can take here. Opponent cannot take it back because I have got bishop d5. So king goes to h8. Is there anything good for me? Yeah. Also, I will also put that I will also mark it as an advantage for black, this position. Okay, and let's check the last move, which was queen takes a1. Maybe queen takes a1. You can see that those squares are quite weak. Yeah, this is just simple. Okay, yes, no, is it good or not? Because take a look, now I have got a fork. So black is forced to take it here with the bishop. Because in case that black doesn't capture at the d5 with a bishop, there is a problem with there is a problem that white has got 2 minor pieces for the rook. So okay, so black is forced to capture, and now I have got one option is to go there. I threat checkmate. Black plays, let's say, f6 or e5. and I take the rook, but I take the rook with the bishop, but if I'm not wrong, I'm down the pawn in the end, because take a look, if I go here, black is blocking checkmate, takes, rook takes, yeah, probably it's not very good, but maybe after bishop d5, I have got something better. If I go, can I make this move or not? If I play b4. And now if I play b4, if knight takes here, I take it back, bishop takes here. Yeah, but honestly, it's nothing good here. It's nothing good. Yeah, okay. So my conclusion here is that probably opponent should, I will mark it bishop takes d5 as a mistake, because in my opinion opponent should go knight takes d5, and I will mark it as a good move, knight takes d5, and in my opinion black has got the advantage. Most probably I would pick the line with the pawn at b7, but I think black has got the advantage. An interesting thing is that after knight d5 in the opening book you can find the move knight g4. So let's try this move. After this move, okay, my bishop's hanging and this is also hanging. I can play bishop d2. Yeah, and after queen d8 I can move my rook to b1, but I have to say that I like this position. I like this position for white. White hasn't got any problems. So my conclusion is that black should have played knight takes d5 at the moment. That's the conclusion. But okay, later of course we are going to check it with the engine to check am I right or maybe I made some mistakes in the calculation. Okay, so bishop takes d5, c takes d5, knight e5. And now I remember in this position I wanted to play bishop d4, make sure that that diagonal is safe. Okay, black brought out the rook. Okay, and now I played f4. I remember that my plan was to attack with pawns in the center, and I think this is good, right? Because my next move is gonna be e4. Okay, opponent moved back, and now I played there. If after knight goes there, I wanted to play h3, and that knight has got a problem with a space. So knight g4 was a little bit risky in my opinion. Okay, I play e4, rook d8. I don't like this move. I mean, I know that probably opponent is expecting me to play e5, and opponent wants to have it have an x-ray towards my queen. Okay, maybe it's not that bad. But before I start the attack, I have to bring my pieces closer, and now opponent went e5. And e5 doesn't convince me at all. It's a little bit too risky in my opinion. e5 for black. If I were black, okay, what are other options for black? Knight c5, but after knight c5, e5 might be a problem. Also, I have got a tactical motive of the fork, so also doesn't look very good. What else black could do? It's important to analyze your moves, but also your opponent's moves, right? So you can learn also from your opponent's mistakes. What are other options for black? Yeah, maybe that e5 actually it was like, it's maybe the only active way of playing, because in the other case, I can bring my pieces, I don't know, I can bring my pawns, my queens, then my rooks, and later e5. Yeah, so maybe e5 actually makes some sense. And now I decided to capture en passant. I remember I considered also playing rook c4, knight c4, but I was afraid that black's gonna take it. So that move probably would be a mistake, because rook takes here, and opponent takes here, and now black has got, I will mark it as the big advantage for black, because black has got two minor pieces for the rook, which is of course not very good for white. So I decided to capture. I think it was a good decision. And now knight c4, you can see that I'm attacking queen and pawn here. Okay, queen a6. Okay, and now, okay, I played queen d2. My idea was to develop pieces. So this is the reason why queen went to the d2 square. Any other options? I don't want to play e5. In my opinion, it's too early because pawn takes, and I have got a problem here. Also, bishop takes f6. Yeah, opponent just takes with the bishop. My rook's hanging, gives me nothing at that point. Yeah, so queen d2. You see, because until now I was using lines because I'm just describing, right? I just didn't comment with the words, but it's also a good idea to, I will put some comments like in words, developing pieces for the attack in the center. It's also a good idea to use words. Okay, and now opponent played d5. Opponent probably wanted to open rooks. It does make sense. So pawn takes. Okay, pawn takes here, and now I decided to go to e5. You see, black has got an isolated pawn at the d5, and yeah, I should write it down that black has got an isolated pawn at the d5 square. I'm going to attack it, right? And you should put also comments like this to your analysis. Opponent exchanged here, and now knight e4. I remember that I was a little bit afraid of this line, but I decided to put my queen at the d4 because you see I want to block. There is a principle that says when opponent has got an isolated pawn, block it. I know that queen maybe is not the best piece to block it, but yeah, but I think that you know, it's better to use queen at the moment. And now opponent played bishop f8, right? Bishop f8, of course, with the idea to go bishop c5. I will with the idea bishop c5 and pin, right? And of course, you can see that it's a pin. I can lose my queen. And now I remember I considered this move, but after bishop c5, and there are some threats knight f2. I remember I didn't like it that much. So I decided, and I think I'm right, to play rook ac1. Because opponent now went queen b6, but if black plays bishop c5, which was, you know, an alternative, I wanted to sacrifice my rook here. And now take a look. If rook takes, I can take knight at the e4. And you can see that this is hanging, that pawn is pinned, white is winning right now. Okay, let me put the notation mark here. Okay, plus minus means that white is winning here. So black most probably is gonna play this move, but after this move I wanted to capture bishop takes d5. That king is extremely weak, and you can see that I have got bishops pointing towards the king. Such a bishops, we call them Gorwitz bishops. You can see that they are very strong, and I think that white is also has got a huge advantage at this position. Okay, so this is the reason why my opponent played queen b6. Okay, and now I have to decide what to do. Yeah, I just decided to keep it simple, decided to capture here, and now rook. I'm trying to activate my rook. An alternative that I considered was taking it here, rook takes, and now rook goes here. But I was a little bit afraid of playing rook c2, that rook can enter into the second rank. And yeah, let's take a look what happens. If I take it at the d5, what is going on here? Of course, rook cannot capture because bishop takes e4. Rook can check, then bishop f1. Or even better, take a look. Bishop goes to c5. Bishop goes to c5. I don't like this position for white because my king is under attack. I cannot go there because of this move. I have to go to f1. Then rook is coming to f2. Yeah, looks bad. Looks really bad. And after this move, I'm even afraid that rook can go to c1. bishop f1 and I don't know, let's say here. And you can see that here we've got a pin. Okay, in general, I have to say that rook c8 wouldn't be a good idea. So I'll put this inaccuracy here, right? And then rook takes d5, in my opinion, it's losing. So I will put it like a question mark, that this is a bad move. Okay, so I think it was a good decision to go rook f2 to d1. Opponent captures, bishop c5, and now of course I want to follow the principle king f1. I will comment after that. In the end game, it is important to move king towards the center. Okay. Rook d7. I have got no idea why. Why rook d7? If I were black, okay, what black can do? I have got bishop pair, which is very good for me. I have got better pawn structure because opponent has got an isolated pawn, which I'm going to attack, and also black has got weak pawns. But what black could do right now? Maybe a good idea for black would be to move the king here, and if I'm attacking it here, knight f6. That plan makes some sense because if I take it this way, king takes, and even if I capture the d5, okay, I win a pawn, but there are opposite color bishops. And opposite color bishops is a good chance for black to make a draw, because very often opposite color bishops endgame is they are very, very drawish, even if someone is down a pawn or two. So if I were black, most probably I would go king f7. Okay, rook d1, okay, knight f2, and now rook takes d5. And now take a look. Opponent lost that isolated pawn, and at the same time I can keep my bishop pair, and I can also most probably win this pawn. But I remember that during the game, instead of taking this pawn, I just wanted to take material, because you can see that bishop is the only defender of the knight. So I just wanted to remove the defender at the moment, and this is why I did play b4. I think it's good. I think that b4 is nice. If bishop captures, of course I capture at f2. So opponent went here. Okay, I went king e2, attacking this. Knight g4. Okay, and at this position, of course, after any move like h3, opponent takes my bishop. So I have to play bishop d6, good move, king e8. And right now I think I made the mistake. Because during the game I played h3, I was trying to remove the defender, but I missed that opponent can go knight f6, and my bishop is under attack. I think that the move that gives me material advantage, bishop f3. So I will, and you see, no way opponent can attack my bishop. And I'm just removing the defender and taking later that bishop at this point. Okay, so bishop f3 here and here. So here is my mistake. I just didn't. Okay, and I put question mark on h3. It was lost opportunity. Of course, my position is still, I have got a huge advantage, but you can see that it wasn't the most accurate way of playing. Knight f6, bishop takes b7. Okay, bishop d4, king d3. King goes closer to the center. Bishop f2. Of course, I have to protect my pawn, so I play g4. h5. Black follows that principle that it's a good idea to exchange pawns when you're losing in the endgame, and it does make a lot of sense. And what is my plan? I have got bishop pair, so this is one good thing. Also, opponent has got two weak pawns. Those are another advantages. And also I have got pawn majority on both sides, on the king side as well on the queen side. Right? On the king side it's 3 against 2. On the queen side it's 2 against 1. So I wanna most probably create two pass pawns and promote them. And just promote them. Okay, so I played bishop e5, attacking the knight. Of course, I never want to take it this way, because if I take it here, you can see that we have got opposite color bishops. And such a position might be hard to win. Probably, I mean, this position probably is win, but it's not very obvious, right? And white has to be very accurate. So I never want to, if I want to exchange bishop, I want to exchange my light square bishop for the knight. So we have got bishops at the same color. Okay, bishop f3. I'm protecting pawn. I like this move. Takes. Knight d7, bishop d4. Take a look. My bishop is attacking here. It's restricting also in this area. I think that was good. Bishop g3, bishop e3. I don't want to give my opponent any pawn. And a4, I'm creating the pass pawn. King goes to c4. I'm bringing my king closer. King b5. Okay, opponent is just waiting. King a6. I could capture that, but I didn't want to give that pawn for free, so I just decided to move my king closer. And now f5. I can, as I promised, I want to create the pass pawn on this side. I think that was fine. Bishop e5, king a7. Okay. And now b5. And now my plan is very simple. I want to go bishop c6. I want to remove that knight. I want to get pawn at the b6 and I want to promote. I think that was good. Okay, bishop c6. a5. Okay, and you can see that pawn takes, bishop takes, a4. Okay, and then bishop goes to d5 and my opponent did resign because white is completely winning at the moment. Okay, so now what are my conclusions after my analysis of this game? First of all, I think that I learned some new lines in the opening, and I have to say that because I was a little bit in trouble right after the opening when I played bishop e3, probably it wasn't the best move. But yeah, I mean, now I know that it's queen d2 is the move, so I learned some new lines. Later, I think I made some mistakes playing knight d5, and it was a problem with the calculation because I thought that knight takes d5, pawn takes, and in this line when I capture pawn at b7, I'm doing well. Apparently, I'm not. This is the reason why I think here I made a mistake. It was a mistake with the calculation. And later, I think I was playing pretty well. There were a couple of risky moments when opponent could go to c5, but I just want and pin my queen and my king. But I think I played it pretty well until the moment that in the end game I should have easily win. I just missed the tactics. I just missed that after this move there is knight f6, and I should have just played bishop f3. So another mistake with the calculation. It was 10 minutes rapid, so of course, it wasn't like a classical game, but still I can see that my issues are with the calculation, and yeah, especially calculation, right? You see, it's very important to get some conclusions after the game. Okay, so this is first part. I analyzed the whole game on my own. I have got some conclusions. So now I'm gonna analyze the game with the engine and check how was my analysis. Okay, of course, first couple moves, no need to use the engine because this is opening theory. Now I was actually using, right, opening explorer. Okay, now queen b6, I know this move. We can start right after the opening. Bishop e6, bishop e3. Okay, let me now put the engine on. Okay, engine still likes this, right? Just one very important thing, it's very important. Don't use the engine don't use this quick analysis because there are very often mistakes. I mean, it's very hard even for the engine to calculate like the whole game, to analyze the whole game that is 50 moves long in 10 seconds. This is the reason why. Now I'm just seeing, you can see that there is like this depth 20, which is okay. It's not very good, but it's decent, I would say. Yeah, okay, and you can see engine still likes this for white. Here and now knight d5. Actually, I'm surprised because engine likes this move. So maybe engine likes this move. Okay, and now engine, okay, the engine doesn't like that much this move, bishop takes d5. But if you remember in my analysis, you can see that there is knight takes d5 with the exclamation mark, which means that knight takes d5, in my opinion, would be a good move. So here I apparently made a mistake. So let's take a look. Knight takes d5, c takes here. Okay. You can, okay, now I understand, because you can see I check also lines in the engine, and now I see where I made a mistake. I analyzed that after bishop a1, I analyzed this move, I analyzed this move, I analyzed this move, and actually I like d takes c6 like the most, but there is one very simple move, knight takes a1. I completely missed this. I missed this during the game, and also I missed this when I was analyzing. And you can see the difference is that queen and the bishop, they are protecting that pawn. So I'm down an exchange, but I have got a fork. And in the next move, I'm just winning material. So, okay, so here so here I completely missed the fact that I can take it with the knight at a1. So yeah, I made a mistake with the calculation with the candidate moves because I didn't consider all relevant candidate moves. I also should have realized that I can take it back with the knight. Okay, so I've got an important lesson from this. Okay, opponent captures. Pawn captures at the d5. Okay, knight goes to e5. Okay, bishop d4. Okay, engine still likes the way I play. Rook c8. Now I played f4. Okay, and actually engine doesn't like f4 as much as I do. And what's the problem? So what's the problem with the f4? I thought that f4 is a good idea. Is it a risky move or what's going on? Okay, engine probably, okay. I know what does the engine mean. Because engine recommends to play e4 first. Probably the reason why playing e4 would be better is because engine wants to prepare pieces first and later play f4 and probably immediately later e5. You know, there is this saying, at least in Polish, that threat is more dangerous than using that threat. So yeah, maybe I should have kept that threat here. Okay, I also thought that f4 is a good move, and you can see that e4, okay, and now black plays, okay, black most probably has to retreat, and now knight e3, and we have got the same position, just the difference is that my pawn is at the f2, and that means that it's a my king is more safe. I don't need to bother with any tactical motives on the diagonal like I did during the game. Okay. Okay. f4. Okay, so another important thing. e4. Okay. Opponent went rook d8. Knight e3. Okay. You see, all the time I'm just watching the game. I'm just watching my comments. I mean, I remember them, right? But still I'm watching them. And I'm just also watching the engine. And engine, you can see that there are like 3 moves, knight e8, h5, knight h5, and my opponent played e5. Probably e5 is a mistake. It is. You can see that now there is this evaluation 1.5 after this move. So obviously, okay, black should probably play knight e8. That would be a better idea, just to exchange pieces probably. You know, there is the principle that says if you're defending, exchange pieces. So, okay. Okay, so e5, mistake. Okay, I will just put a question mark on this. Okay, d takes e6, good move. Knight c4, I bet it has to be good. It has to be good. Queen went to here. And now in this position, I played queen d2. Okay, and if you remember, I put even a comment that I'm just developing my pieces to start the attack in the center, and I said that I didn't want to play e5 because in my opinion it's too early, but you can see that engine doesn't agree actually with me, and engine prefers e5. I was a little bit afraid what happens after this move. Okay, and actually probably I analyzed what happens after knight takes e5. And there is another good opportunity to capture with this pawn. It's attacking here. It's also attacking the rook. Okay. And now knight takes c5 doesn't look like a good move. So what that knight can do? Okay, what happens if that knight goes here? Okay, I have got queen f3. And white gets a very strong attack on the f file. Okay, I completely missed that idea that I can go e5 pretty quickly and I can start the attack on the f file. Okay, so instead of developing pieces, actually queen d2 was probably too safe, right? I should have attacked even faster. Okay, now opponent plays d5, takes, okay, knight e5, okay. So I'm gonna attack that isolated pawn as I said. Knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, and knight goes to e4. Okay, engine likes the way my opponent's playing. Okay, queen d4. I think here my analysis was quite correct. And now bishop f8. Okay, there is an idea like this. Okay, and now surprise, because I played rook a to c1. Okay, what is going on? Engine doesn't like that move at all. Okay, because engine wants me to play another rook to c1. With the same idea, after rook c5, after bishop c5, I can take rook takes c5, but take a look. After rook a c1, my opponent, me during the analysis missed that black has got a nice tactics here. Yeah, because I analyzed only, okay, this move, like it happened during the game, this move, but engine actually recommends queen takes f1. Take a look, what a move. Okay, what a nice tactics. And now take a look, I have got three options. I mean, taking with the king is very bad because I'm gonna lose this rook. And two rooks and opponent has got very strong attack, this is bad. If I go rook c1, rook takes f1, bishop goes to c5. You see, this is the reason why it's better to avoid tactical motives, because you can see that tactical motive of that pin, even if it didn't work, after you know some moves, it can happen. So also it's bad because I think I'm losing an exchange. Yeah, because yeah, I'm gonna be down 2 points, right? Because rook d1 takes, bishop takes, and I'm down an exchange. It's very bad. It's very bad. So probably bishop f1 is the only move that makes sense. And after rook c1, but now I have got a queen for two rooks. And usually two rooks are slightly better. It depends on the king's safety actually. That king is not very safe, but I don't see any direct way how can I attack it. So anyway, queen f1, and you know what? I will even give it a double exclam, which means that would be a great move. Queen takes f1 is the best move, and I will just, in the end of this line, I will just put an information that position would be equal. And this, sorry, not this line here. Of course, black has got the advantage, but after in this position, I will put an information that position would be equal. Okay, let's go back. Queen b6. Yeah, so queen b6. Okay, it's a bad move. It's a missed opportunity. Wasn't easy, but it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Okay, queen takes b6, a takes b6. Okay, now I decided to play rook d1, and if you remember, I said that taking rook c8, I called it an inaccuracy, but actually engine likes this move, and with the idea not rook d1 but bishop h3. Okay, maybe in this way that line would be much better. Then yeah, that line would be better. I didn't see bishop h3. Okay, rook fd1, takes. Okay, bishop goes to c5, king f1. Okay, and now if you remember, I said that I would go king f7. Engine wants to go king f8 or king f7 right now. Definitely knight d7 is a bad move because I can go there. Yeah, and now you can see that it's almost free. 2.65 at the moment, so white's advantage is quite big. Knight f2, rook takes d5. Yeah, and you can see we go into the end game, and I think engine here agrees that it's free. It's 3.14, right? So okay, takes, king f8, and now I played b4. Engine doesn't like this move actually. Okay. Okay, now I know why not. I mean, after b4, black can go knight g4, and you can see that if I take it here, it's a fork. It's a fork. Okay, so this is not the best move. This is the reason why b4. Okay, I have to put it as a inaccuracy. What should I play? Okay, I should just bring my king closer to the center. This is something that I'm supposed to do. Okay, so b4, and now opponent made the bishop e3. It's a big mistake. You can see knight g4, of course, would be a good move. I will put an exclamation here. So bishop goes to e3, king e2, knight g4, bishop d6, that was good. And now, of course, I played h3, which is a mistake, and I figured it out that I should go. Actually, engine doesn't like bishop f3 that much, but engine prefers bishop e6. The idea remains the same, to remove the defender. But what is wrong with bishop f3? What did I miss? Okay, opponent can escape there. And if I take it here, it's knight f5. And if my bishop would be at e6, this doesn't work because bishop can capture there. Okay, so you can see, as I remember, this is fourth tactics that I missed. I mean, not in the game, but also in some lines, but there were 4 tactics that I didn't see during the game, as also during the calculation, right? So you can see, I know we are going to check this game until the end, but if you don't see 4 important tactics during the game, that definitely means that there is a field that you can improve on, right? And it's a conclusion for me that I should focus on tactics. You know, if you saw the first lesson on the course, you have got some examples how can you work on this. But okay, so I played h3, knight f6, bishop takes b7. Okay, here I think I played pretty well actually. Bishop f2. Okay, g4. Yeah, I'm just checking, and actually, yeah, bishop e5. Yeah, it's very hard to play according to the first line in the what does the engine recommends, but okay, an engine for example recommends g5, but bishop f3, I think it's also nothing wrong with this move. Yeah, okay, instead of 5, the evaluation is 4.4, not such a big difference. Takes. Okay, knight goes to d7, and now I just decided to, bishop d4. Now I don't mind exchanging that bishop. Bishop g3, bishop e3. Yeah, okay. And now I think my plan of moving pawns. Okay, you can see engine says that after a4 it's over 6, so that means that it's a very good idea. King c4. Okay, engine wants to play g5, so engine wants to start probably attacking that weak pawn. I decided to move my king here. Okay, engine says that g5 is a good move. Is it? Ah, okay, g5. Okay, g5 it's a... okay, another tactics. If I capture, there is knight e5. So there is another tactical motive and another tactics that I have missed during the game. But I think that I can do this, and yeah, I'm winning. I have got too many pass pawns. Opponent cannot stop them. And after this move, king takes b6, and I'm doing well. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So I should have seen that, but I think it doesn't influence to the result. Here, and now you can see that now. It's winning. f5 takes. Okay, bishop goes to e5, king a7. Okay, bishop f6, b5. Yeah, engine says it's +4 only. Yeah, no, but it has to be win. Bishop here. After king d6, what's going on? Is there any problem? Can't I just take this pawn? No, I think I can just take this pawn. It's winning. I think yeah, this position is just win. Bishop c6, a5. Okay, and now engine says that it's, you know, it's white's winning and my opponent did resign. Okay, so take a look. So now you see, what did I do at the moment? I was just going through the game with the engine, and I was like checking my analyses, and as you can see, I missed couple tactics. So this is the field that I should. Of course, I learned some openings. There were some actually strategically, I think that game was pretty good, but definitely tactics is something I have to put more attention in the next. I have to put to more attention, and I have to think more also about tactical motives and that opponent sacrifices, right? Queen f1. It was a fantastic move that I completely missed. And this is the way you should analyze every game that you have played. I know that at the beginning that might be hard because you know it's not so easy. You just need to learn how to do that. And as I said before, I really recommend to spend, let's say, 1 or 2 hours on each game and try to analyze it. You will see that after you analyze 10 or 20 games, if you will try to follow that pattern, you will see that you're really improving because you're not making that many mistakes. You know what things should you focus on. If I play next 5 games and I see that I still got a problem with tactics, maybe before I play next games, it would be good to make a good plan how to work on those tactics, right? So and during the next games, I will also put more attention into my mistakes. So this is the way you should analyze. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope you will try to do it with your own games. Thanks and goodbye.